Hey, this is Pastor Bob with another That's Not My God jellyfish video, and I'm standing here by this van in our church parking lot, big 1999 Ford Econoline, and this was a dream that came to me as for a ministry that we were starting up at our church, and it was one of those dreams where you feel good about it. You just know that this is something that needs to happen. And so I know this couple, and they go to our church, and they have this white van for sale. I'm like, hey, this is what I'm thinking of. What do you think? And they actually gave it to us very cheap and took a lot off it because they believe in this ministry and what we're going to be doing with it. Well, what we're going to do with it is load it up with things. You can already see it is loaded with donated items. I mean, clothes, everything, cups for feeding and stuff. And what we're going to do, inspired by Pastor Bob Beeman and the Bridge Bunch, is that in our little town of 6,500, we have a place here called the Wapaka Hotel. Now, it's not a fancy hotel by any means, but nonetheless, it keeps people off the streets. And I called them quite a few years ago and introduced myself, and they said no church groups, because quite honestly they made more of a mess than anything, and they formed these big loud prayer circles and just kind of assume everybody is going to hell. And so we weren't allowed to come in. Well, fast forward a couple of years after I had this dream to get this van and passion for this, and all of a sudden we get this van, donations are rolling in. Just last week I picked up 120 pounds of chicken from a food distributor. More food's rolling in from area restaurants, on and on. We're just really seeing God's hand moving this thing in a pretty awesome way. And so we're going to take this van, and it's going to be a rolling humanitarian effort where people don't have to sit through a message or anything like that, but rather just come and we'll serve you. And so I call this hotel back, and they say, well, yeah, you can serve here. In fact, we'd love for you to serve here because the hotel is full. Now, can you imagine that? The hotel is simply full, and people are there. It's their last ditch before they're homeless. She goes on one step further. She goes, and could you share a little message with them? Well, we were happy to do that, but we'll pray for people and be there for them. And this Sunday night's our first feeding. It really involves everybody to get behind a dream. And, all of us have dreams, all of us have desires, and it'd be nice if a dream just came to pass and there was no nervousness, no needing anybody to volunteer a ton, but that's not how it always goes. So tonight, I have my youth group coming, and they're going to be cleaning the van out. It's pretty clean already. I gave it an overhaul, but we're going to sort all that stuff out. We're going to go through it and see what's going on, get it organized, and then tomorrow, this van gets dropped off at the local graphic place, and they're going to sticker up the whole thing that says The Rock. It'll have our Facebook address on there and everything. But we're not advertising the church. We're just calling it The Rock because that's what it is, and we believe that it's an important thing. The story is behind the rock is that trout in a stream, they'll fight their whole life. They'll fight the current their whole life until either they die or they find a rock to get behind. And that's where they can find food and rest and able to rest up before they get back out in that current again. A lot of people don't have a rock to get behind, and that's why we call it the Rock, because for a little bit, starting this Sunday night, we're going to be busting out the grills, and we're going to be serving people with food, giving them hygiene products and all this stuff, just to say, I think this is what Jesus would do. I talked to one guy today on the phone. We hung up posters and put a telephone number on it at the hotel there. And one guy calls me. He calls me and he goes, so you guys are coming and you're bringing food and everything, right? He goes, where are you located? Where's the church located? I told him, and he goes, oh, that's right up from where I work. He goes, well, let me ask you this question. I live at the hotel and trying to make a go of life again. Will you be bringing any hygiene products? Now, can you imagine that? It's a sad thing, but I said yes, and he started crying because he needs these things. So, what's your dream? Get behind it. If God endorses it, if God blesses you with it, it's going to be an awesome thing. Hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.